Hey friends! Before we start the show, I wanted to quickly mention a way that you can get downloadable Eat Your Spanish worksheets and downloads of our Spanish learning songs while at the same time supporting our program. The answer is by joining our Patreon familia at www.patreon.com/eatyourspanish. For as little as $2 per month, you can receive bonus learning content specific to each episode. Plus, 100% of the money earned goes towards keeping our program on the air. I know we've said it before, but it's true. As independent artists, the success of our show remains in the hands of our supporters. So if you're having fun learning with us and want to support our work and receive additional learning material, please visit www.patreon.com/eatyourspanish or click on the link in every episode description. Thanks, amigos!
Hey friends! Before we start the show, we want to give a quick shout out to a few members of our Patreon familia.
That's right! We want to send out a big hola to a couple of hermanas, Savannah and Prairie, from down in Texas. Hola, amigas! I wonder if you all ever try to speak a little Spanish together or use some of the words that we learn in our episodes when you're talking with each other. That would be such a fun game to play. See if you can switch out some English words with some Spanish words, and then see if your hermana notices. See, I just did it when I said hermana instead of sister. Have fun, amigas, and thanks for being such great listeners and supporters of our show.
We also want to give a shout out to our amigas Piper and Hannah, their mama Liesel, their papa Nick, their perros Toby and Lemon, and their gato Marvin. What a big familia! We heard that you all have neighbors that can speak English and Spanish, and we think it's so cool that they inspired you to start learning Spanish too. That's one of the most beautiful parts of learning a new language, is that it connects you with neighbors and new friends in your community. And maybe someday you'll be speaking Spanish, and then someone will hear you speaking and they'll want to learn Spanish too. You all are doing such a great job, and we're so proud of you all. Thanks for being such wonderful listeners.
Yeah, thanks, amigos. And last but not least, we want to say hola to one of my virtual Spanish students, Josie. Hola, Josie. So we want to say hola to Josie, her mama, Nicole, her papa, Matt, and her 4 gatos, Tai Tai, Porchy, Ghost Face Kitten, also known as Ghosty, and Rizzy. Josie, it's been so much fun getting to know you and spending time learning Spanish and reading stories together. I always really look forward to seeing you every week. And I'm so happy that I finally get to say hi to you on the podcast. Hola, amiga. Thank you so much for being such a great listener and for singing and playing all of our songs and games with us.
And thanks again to all of our Patreon familia. Our Patreon listeners are a big part of what keeps our show up and running, and it's also the way to get our special Eat Your Spanish gifts, like exclusive videos, printable worksheets and coloring pages, song downloads, and so much more. You can find us on patreon.com/eatyourspanish to find out more, or click on the link in the episode description. Now on with the show. Hello friends.
Hola, amigos.
How are you?
¿Cómo están?
I'm so happy.
Estoy feliz
To be with you.
a estar contigo.
Are you hungry?
Tienen hambre
To sing and play?
a cantar y jugar.
'Cause on our menu
Porque en el menú
is Spanish today. Everybody sing.
Eat your Spanish, eat your Spanish, eat your Spanish with us today.
Did you say spinach? No, I said Spanish. Okay.
Eat your Spanish with us today. Eat your Spanish!
With Evan.
and Vanessa. Hola, amigos.
Hello friends. Me llamo Evan. My name's Evan.
Y yo me llamo Vanessa, and my name's Vanessa. Welcome to the review episode where we'll review the words for a few different deportes, or sports.
That was such a fun episode. I'm so excited to review the words together and then to play a fun Spanish game with you all.
Then at the very end of the episode, we'll give one special listener the chance to ask us a question about how to say a word or phrase in Spanish. But first, it's time for a little review of our words from last week.
Listo, amigos? Are you ready, amigos? Here we go.
Spanish review time!
All right, now it's time to take a look back at our lesson from last week. Evan, rewind the tape.
So, Vanessa, besides soccer, what are the other words we'll be learning today?
Great question, Ev. Along with the Spanish word for soccer, we'll also learn the names for tennis, basketball, and baseball. Let's start off with soccer, which in Spanish is fútbol. So repeat after me, amigos. Fútbol.
Football.
Fútbol.
Football.
Muy bien, amigos. Now for the word for tennis. This one is definitely a cognate, or a word that sounds almost the same in two languages. For tennis, we say tenis. So repeat after me, amigos. Tenis.
Tennis.
Tenis.
Tennis.
Great work, amigos. Dos down, dos to go. Now it's time for basketball. In Spanish, we say baloncesto. So repeat after me, amigos. Baloncesto.
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 All right, amigos, muy bien. Just one word left. And guess what? It's another cognate. The last word of our lesson today is baseball, which in Spanish is béisbol. So repeat after me one more time, amigos. Béisbol.
Baseball.
Béisbol.
Baseball.
Great review, everybody. Now I hope you're ready to have some fun because it's time to play.
A Spanish song? A Spanish story. No, wait, I got this. A Spanish omelet.
Evan, it's time to play a Spanish game.
Oh, yeah.
Spanish game time!
Okay, amigos, today's game is really exciting because we're going to recreate the sounds of 4 different kinds of deportes, or sports. We'll use a few sounds for each different round to create a soundscape, which is kind of like a painting of sounds for your ears. If you close your eyes when it's time to listen, that usually makes it easier for you to paint a picture in your imaginations.
Yeah, that's a good point. I almost feel like I can see the sounds when my eyes are closed. I only have to use my imagination a little bit. When my grampy was a kid, he used to listen to all of the sports games on the radio instead of watching them on TV. I bet it's kind of like that.
Wow, that's so cool. I wonder if this game would make him feel like a kid again. Hey Vernon, if you're listening, this game is for you.
Okay, amigos, so let's listen to each sports soundscape before we get started so we know what to expect. Let's start with baloncesto, or basketball. Here are the sounds we'll hear for baloncesto. Then for tenis, or tennis, we'll hear these sounds. For football or soccer, we'll hear these sounds.
Y te cae una como estas, ahorita me platicas, te pones nervioso como arquero, viene el desborde de León, el servicio para el pasado, nuevo centro, ¡gol!
And last but not least, for béisbol or baseball, we'll hear these sounds. Ready for our first round, amigos? Okay, let's close our eyes and open our ears. Are these the sounds for tenis, fútbol, béisbol, or baloncesto?
Okay, amigos, open your eyes. It's time to guess. Did that sound like tenis, fútbol, béisbol, or baloncesto?
Time's up. What do you think, amigos? If you said baloncesto, muy bien. We were listening to a basketball game. Great work. Now on to the next round. Round número 2. Is this soundscape for baloncesto, tenis, fútbol, or béisbol?
Y te cae una como estas, ahorita me platicas, te pones nervioso como arquero, viene el responde de León, León, el servicio parece pasando, nuevo centro. ¡Gol!
Okay, amigos, open your eyes. It's time to guess. Did that sound like tenis, fútbol, béisbol, or baloncesto?
Time's up. What do you think, amigos? If you said fútbol, muy bien, amigos. That was a soccer game. Hey, Evan, remember when we were in Ecuador for the World Cup? That was so much fun. Soccer is a really big sport in Spanish-speaking countries, and the teams are so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah, that was really exciting. The crowds are so lively and excited for their teams. It was a really fun day.
Yeah, it was. All right, amigos, time for another round. Round número 3. Let's close our eyes and open our ears. Are these sounds for baloncesto, fútbol, béisbol, or tenis?
All right, amigos, eyes open. Did that sound like a game of baloncesto, fútbol, béisbol, or tenis?
Time's up. What do you think, amigos? If you said tenis, muy bien, amigos. That was a tennis game. Tenis is a much quieter deporte or sport. It's so intense to watch, too.
Yeah, tenis is a really fun game. It's actually the favorite deporte of mi mamá y mi papá.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're both such good jugadores de tenis or tennis players. Okay, amigos, it's time for our very last round. Round número 4. Eyes closed, ears open. Are these the sounds for baloncesto, tenis, fútbol, or béisbol?
All right, amigos, eyes open. Did that sound like baloncesto, tenis, fútbol, or béisbol?
Time's up. What do you think, amigos? If you said béisbol, muy bien. It was a baseball game. Mr. Mouse ate so many Cracker Jacks at his last Juego de Mouse Baseball, or mouse baseball game, that he was too sick to play, but he had fun heckling the other team between burps.
Swing, bada, bada, bada. Excuse me. Swing, bada, bada, bada. Excuse me.
He sure is a character.
Yeah, he's really funny. Well, amigos, we did it. All 4 rounds of our listening game, and you all did such a great job.
Yeah, muy bien, amigos. You all are the best. Now that we're getting towards the end of the episode, it's time to give one of our special listeners the chance to ask a question about how to say a word or phrase in Spanish. Evan, who is this week's special listener?
This week's special listener is Ruthie. Ruthie, what is your question?
Hola. My name is Ruth. My question is, how do you say the planets in our solar system's names in Spanish? Adios.
Hola, Ruthie. Great questions. Wait, Vanessa, isn't Ruthie one of your virtual Spanish students?
Yeah, she is. Hola, Ruthie. It's so great to hear your voice on the show. And what a fantastic question. Ruthie and I actually talked about the planetas during our very first lesson that she and I had together. But now we get to share their Spanish names with all of our listeners. I know lots of our amigos listening love espacio exterior, or outer space. We even answered a few questions last season about espacio exterior. Here's a quick challenge, amigos. Do any of you listeners remember how to say moon or stars in Spanish?
Let's see if I can remember. Is the moon luna in Spanish? And stars, aren't they called estrellas?
Muy bien, Evan. That's exactly right. And now for the planetas, or planets. This is a pretty long answer since there are 8 planets in the solar system. But at least most of them are cognates, so that should make it a little easier. I think we can actually practice saying a few at a time. So let's start with the first 3 planets, which are Mercury, Venus, and Earth. So Mercury is Mercurio, Venus is Venus, and Earth is la Tierra. So all together we say Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra. So let's repeat that after me. Ready? Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra.
Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra.
Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra.
Mercurio, Venus, la Tierra.
Muy bien, amigos.
Yeah, great work, amigos. So, which planets do we have next, Vanessa?
Next, we have Mars, which is Marte, Jupiter, which is Jupiter, and Saturn, which is Saturno. All together, we say Marte, Jupiter, Saturno. So repeat after me, amigos. Marte, Jupiter, Saturno.
Marte, Jupiter, Saturno.
Marte, Jupiter, Saturno.
Marte, Jupiter, Saturno.
Great work, amigos. And now for Uranus, which is Urano, and Neptune, which is Neptuno. So together we would say Urano y Neptuno. So repeat after me. Urano y Neptuno.
Urano y Neptuno.
Urano y Neptuno.
Urano y Neptuno. Great work, amigos. Wait, Vanessa, when we were younger, weren't there 9 planetas? What happened to Pluto?
That's right, Evan. We did used to consider Pluto, or Plutón in Spanish, to be a planet, but now it's just considered a dwarf planet since it's so tiny.
Wow, that's really interesting. I've got another interesting fact about planetas. Can you guess how many planetas are known so far in our entire universe?
Is it 1 million? 1 billion? 1 trillion?
There are, get this, over 700 quintillion planetas that we know so far in our universe. And really quick, I'll tell you all how to write out that number. First, you write down a siete, or the number 7. Then, write down 20 zeros next to it, and you have the number 700 quintillion.
El espacio exterior is such a miraculous place. But even though there are so many planetas out there, I still think my favorite one is La Tierra, or Earth, because that's where my familia and my amigos and all of my pets live.
And that's where Ruthie lives too. Thanks again for your great question, Ruthie.
Yeah, gracias, Ruthie. I'll see you soon for our next virtual Spanish lesson.
If any of you listeners out there ever want us to answer one of your questions, just visit us on eatyourspanishpodcast.com and you can send us in your question. And if you record your question on one of your parents' phones and send it to us, then you can have the chance of hearing your own voice on one of our podcasts. Aw, man. That sound means it's time for us to say goodbye.
We've had so much fun with you all today. Thanks for joining us for this special review episode of Eat Your Spanish. We've just got one more thing left to do.
We hope you all will sing along with us.
Adiós, mi buen amigo.
Goodbye, my good friend.
Hasta luego.
See you later. See you later, my good friend. Adios, amigos. Goodbye, friends.
Hasta luego. See you later. Thanks for listening to the Eat Your Spanish podcast. You can support our podcast by visiting patreon.com/eatyourspanish or by subscribing to it and leaving a review on iTunes. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, or on the web at eatyourspanishpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Adios!